Now I've got another fun pattern for you today. Just another one I'm putting in my spring brook trout box. So when I sat down an hour ago, the only material that I really wanted to use on that one was Lady Amherst Pheasant Tippets. These things right here, which I think are a pretty underused material, but they make some great tails. So this one I came up with, it's not really anything special, but there is one technique that a new tyer might not be that familiar with. If you've ever seen what looks like a floss body with a Peacock Herl rib, well, you know that wouldn't be a very durable fly. It's actually a Peacock Herl underbody with a floss rib, so it looks the same, but a much more durable fly. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Now, I thought about doing a Name the Fly contest with this one, but I decided to name it myself. I'm going to call this one the Hog Camp. And I'm naming it after one of these small brook trout streams in the Shenandoah National Park. Had a really fun day out there last spring, and I'm definitely going to hit that water again this year. Now, the one I'm about to show you, I tied with a green body, but I think we could do this just as easily with a yellow or red or really any color body and still call it a hog camp. So this one will just be called a green hog camp. But it's a fun little pattern, and I'll let you know if I have any luck with it. So there it is in the vise, what, as of an hour ago, I've decided to call the Hog Camp. And this one, it's going to be a green one. So I think this body could be any color, yellow or red, would be just fine. So I'm going with a size 14 standard length barbless dry fly hook. And I'm going to use white thread because that's what I had in my bobbin holder. I think black would be just fine right here. And for the tail, Lady Amherst Pheasant Tippets. This is some pretty cool stuff. And one of the things I was wanting to use today. So kind of long, but you know, maybe not terribly long. And if you can get both of those black bars showing, I think that's kind of cool. Probably not all that important though. But I got about 8 or 10 fibers right there. Now if you don't have Lady Amherst, white strung saddle hackle would work with a black magic marker. Now let's take our thread up pretty close to the front and catch in some floss. Again, I'm going with green, but I think any color right here would be kind of cool. So let's pull that back just a little bit right there. Okay, that should work. I'm going to catch this in back to the start of that tail and then bring my thread back on up front. And I'm going to catch in one strand of Peacock Herl. I'm going to catch it in a couple inches from the tip. So maybe I've gotten through the really brittle stuff. I may not have, and it might still break on me. If you tie a lot with Peacock Herl, you know that it breaks all the time, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. So instead of this being a floss body with a Peacock Herl rib, which it's going to look like in the end, we're going to wrap the Peacock Herl first. So just be careful with this. Touch and turns all the way up there to the front. And watch the point of your hook. All right, that's far enough, and I must have grabbed a pretty shaggy Herl because, you know, that doesn't look great. But sometimes you really can't tell until you put it on the hook. Okay, so now with this floss, and if you didn't have floss, a couple of strands of thread would work. You want to cord it up a little bit, but not real tight. So I don't want it all the way flat, but I don't want it all the way corded up. So some happy medium, and you can tell if you've reached that by making a couple of wraps. And is that going to be a wide enough band? Yeah, I think it is. So let's keep going with what we have here. Okay, now catch it off when you have it up front. So what we've got right there, it looks almost like a floss body with a Peacock Herl rib, but actually it's the exact opposite. Now for the hackle on this thing, I wanted something pretty light. So I thought about going with a grizzly or then just a cream or a light. But what I've ended up with, I'm going to go with a grizzly that is bleached. So it's pretty light, but it's got some of these, you know, kind of variegated spots in it that give it the grizzly name right here. So I'm catching that in pretty far back because I want a lot of wraps on this thing. I want it to be heavily hackled. It's an attractor fly and I want it to float pretty well. Now this feather's only maybe 2.5 inches, so I probably should grab my hackle pliers, but I'm gonna live on the edge and try to do this with my fingers. See, it slipped out, but you know, I'm stubborn. I'm gonna try that one more time. Okay, now we're getting pretty close to the eye. Let's go ahead and catch it off. Okay, I want to do 3 or 4 wraps right there. And I think that's enough hackle. It might be a little bit longer than I wanted, but it's going to be just fine. All right, so we've snipped that off. Pull these extra barbs that are going forward back. Make a flat area right here for my whip finish. Be careful not to go too far back because we don't really want those fibers swept back, but we do want some room to finish this head. All right, take a look. Do we have any cleanup? Yeah, I got some fibers going all over the place right here. Looks like from my thread. But overall, yeah, not really. I think I'm good with this. I want to put a drop of head cement on it, put it in my box. So that's it, my friends. I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. All right, folks, thank you for sticking around. Since I did not make this a Name the Fly contest, and I've still got a bunch of these brown toboggans to give away, and it's still freezing cold out here, snow everywhere, let's do that right now. So if you're in the US and you'd like to win one of these hats, just leave a comment, mention snow. In a few days, I will go to the random comment picker and pick a winner. And oh yeah, I just got a bunch of these blue and gray ones in too. So you can pick which one you want. All right, folks, I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time.